Hello everyone, this is the WTUS weather briefing for April 12, 2022 at 10:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Dangerous, significant, severe weather is expected today across much of the central United States. Here's the SPC outlook for today. We do have that moderate risk in portions of western and northern Iowa. The enhanced risk goes down to northeast Kansas, northwest Missouri, eastern Nebraska, extreme southeastern South Dakota, southern Minnesota. We also have an enhanced risk in northern Texas. We'll zoom in here. You can see the risk a little bit better. Tornadoes are going to be a pretty significant threat today across northern Iowa with those discrete supercells and the embedded supercells within that QLCS line. We'll talk about that more in modeling in just a second. We do also have a 10% significant risk of tornadoes as well in eastern Nebraska and extreme northeastern Kansas, northwest Missouri, and southern Minnesota. Wind outlook, very high probabilities of wind today, 45% significant risk of wind for portions of western and northern Iowa. You also have a 50% wind risk in northern Texas, along with hail. Both risks today are driven by wind, hail. The southern one is not driven by tornadoes at all. We do have that 5% tornado risk down there as well. That hatched area also for much of the area is signifying that we could have some very large hail today, greater than 2 inches. Here's your RTMA analysis at 9:45 a.m. Central Daylight Time. We do have that warm front lifting north. It was sitting along Kansas City and Cape Girardeau, Missouri, but that warm front's going to quickly advance northward, bringing all that very unstable air into much of the risk area today. That low is near North Platte, Nebraska. The dry line will become more pronounced today as it moves east along the I-35 corridor. Eventually, as it gets along the I-35 corridor, we'll probably see dew points in the teens, maybe some areas in the single digits, and we could also have a dry air punch going into that low pressure center with dew points in the teens. So very high fire danger today in that dry air sector. Refer to the SPC for that outlook. Alright, here's the 13Z curve out at 18Z today, 1 o'clock Central. And we could, with the environment that we have today, the models do like to overconvect a little bit. So we'll see if the HRRR is overconvecting, or if this is actually something that we could see with some rain and some elevated storms popping up in Iowa today. May or may not be an inhibitor. We'll have to see how the atmosphere recovers from that. But something to keep our eyes on. We could also have a couple of discrete supercells in advance of that, in advance of the development of the QLCS line in Iowa and Nebraska today. We could also have a couple supercells in Texas today, with some more messy convection off to the east. Then our QLCS line develops with strong winds, large hail, and embedded tornadoes inside of that QLCS line. Then we'll have an MCS develop to the south in parts of southern Arkansas and northern Louisiana. That QLCS line is going to be a little short-lived, maybe 3 to 5 hours. We could see that QLCS line have its absolute worst, but could build off into northeastern Kansas, northwestern Missouri. That QLCS line should die out by 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. Central Time. The MCS should also die out, primarily with some flooding issues and wind, maybe some small hail, and the 20 threat should remain low, but not zero. Okay, service-based CAPE values at 8 p.m. Very high for April in the central United States, especially that far north. You can tell how powerful the system is just by the extreme warm air advection coming up into, especially as far north as Iowa. Very high CAPE values. Now, I do want to tell you guys this. They did have an enhanced risk in eastern Oklahoma earlier yesterday, but they've removed that, and that's due to the capping inversion. You can see the sort of gray striped areas. That's the convective inhibition. Now, it should be open enough with enough forcing, in a sense, in Texas to produce thunderstorms, but it's going to be very conditional in Oklahoma. If that cap breaks along the forcing line, the forcing ascent line, then we could see some showers and storms. But if it doesn't, then our storm chances are practically slim to none. in Oklahoma. So it's going to be a very conditional risk today in Oklahoma to see if we do get some showers and storms. All right, STP. I do want to remind you guys that this parameter does go wonky sometimes, and I'll show you guys why it is, but very elevated STP values today. This model is signifying we could see some pretty high 20 potential today. Maybe not as high as 38. I think 38 is a pretty high unit, but something to definitely keep in mind there, but not rely any preparation or life-saving action on the STP. That's what forecasts are for, not models. But it's driven because we have very high 0 to 3 and 0 to 1 kilometer helicity values today. 0 to 1 is ranging from 400 up to 500, maybe even 600 meters per second squared, which is very, very high, which will definitely support numerous rotating updrafts with discrete supercells and also with that QLCS line as well. The M3 kilometer agreeing with that QLCS fret, not so much agreeing with the HER and that discrete supercell fret. So we'll kind of have to see how discrete supercells work today if we get those in today. All right, that's it for today's weather briefing. 6 minutes long. Hey, not bad. Join us tomorrow for the briefing tomorrow morning. A little grammatical error there, but join us tomorrow morning for the briefing, talking about more severe weather with that enhanced risk in the Ohio, Mississippi, and Ohio River valleys. We'll also be live streaming today, so make sure you get subscribed to not miss our live coverage, our excellent in-depth live coverage of today's severe weather. So that's it for today. In terms of videos, we will be live streaming as well. So thank you all for watching. Stay weather aware and stay safe. If you can't catch the live stream today, we'll have our briefing tomorrow and we'll have some recaps. So stay safe and stay weather aware.